as well.
Thank you.
What's the group chat like from the series to the special? When did you get an indication you were going to be here? When did you
Right.
rally the troops? Who was
Right.
in denial?
Yeah.
All that
Everyone was in denial. Like, look, this is a show you cannot kill with fire, and I say that in the best possible way. We've had so many triumphs and so many challenges. We had a pregnant lead in second season. We went down for financial reasons after we got greenlit for 2 seasons. You know how rare that is, guys? Then this thing called a global pandemic happened. It was nuts, all right? But you just cannot count Earp out. So we'd heard rumors that Tubi maybe wanted to do a special. But one thing I was determined to do, because we are all so close, it was going to be all of us or none of us. And these are very successful actors. So that was one of the most moving things for me, is that everyone worked so hard around their schedule and other commitments to make it work. For us to go for 3 more weeks to Calgary in the middle of February. It's not Tahiti, everybody, to film this. So that was the most joyful thing. And just seeing how excited everybody was. But I'm practically still in denial it's actually happening, by the way. So until it's aired, whew, let's wait and see.
When creating the special, were there any moments that from the start you had to have for the series to make your way apparent?
Well, one thing that is really both a blessing and a curse about Earp is we had the privilege of writing a real ending to this series, like, which is so rare when you're chasing a renewal every year, right? We ended with like one of the couples domesticated and happy and one riding off into the sunset. So in a weird way, that was friggin' terrifying to be like, we'll just pull that thread, right? We need new conflicts. We need to bring them home. We can't kind of keep them happily ever after. So we knew we had to do what happened next. But the other thing that Tubi wanted, which I think was really smart, is obviously we have a hugely passionate, dedicated audience. But Tubi was like, we want to do something new and bring in everybody. So if you're a hardcore fan of the series, there's so many Easter eggs, there's so many inside jokes, there's really fun cameos. But if your dad or your aunt or your dog or your dog's dog has never seen it, they can show up. They'll get it. She's a sexy demon hunting cowgirl. It's a whole wild ride. You don't need kind of a spreadsheet to understand what's happening. It's going to be satisfying for everyone. So that was the biggest thing I feel like was non-negotiable. No? Anything?
Like you were saying earlier, you really can't underestimate this fandom. What has Tubi's reaction been like, seeing the social media response to the trailer?
Yeah.
There were people camped out at 7 o'clock this morning for the
Oh,
panel.
were there really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, I have to play it so carefully, right? Because to be totally honestly, like, I want Tubi to know this fandom is engaged, but if you oversell it, I feel like they're not going to deliver. So I definitely told them to get ready, but as always, the Earpers just showed up. And I actually think Tubi Social deserves so much credit in marketing. They've been so nimble. They really get the tone of this fandom that it's like kind of making fun, but so joyful, so inclusive, just like having fun. More things should just be fun. Do you know what I mean? Where everybody gets to participate, everybody kind of gets excited about it, everybody gets to geek out about it. So I think they've been delighted, but it's a very symbiotic relationship, and I hope that continues for 5 sequels. That's contractual. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anything else?
What do you hope to see? I mean, sorry, I'm gonna ask this again.
That's all right.
But great.
I wasn't here. It's all new to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you hope to see for the future of Wynonna Earp and
I mean, I feel like it was funny to dive back into Earp. You worry if you have more stories to tell, but now that we've done this special, we definitely are. It's a satisfying ending, but there's definitely like stuff you're gonna want to see resolved or questions addressed and what have you. I think there's a chance for new characters, a new generation of heroes. There's always more Earp. I could do 20 more years of Earp. I'll do Earp Golden Girls if you guys let me. Don't worry about it. I got it. So I hope the fans are happy, but I also would love to do more. How about that? I'll put that out into the universe. Okay.
All right. Now, who else needs to get their flowers here? One element, especially when it comes down to series, to a special or movie or whatnot, is the composer.
Yes, well said. Yes.
Talk about who the collaboration was with and
Right.
what was the notes to add.
Oh, this is so great. So we have 2 incredible composers. They're very different. Their name are Rob Carley and Pete Chapman. Rob is literally like a classically trained musician, and Pete is like, I found a piano in a parking lot, I took it apart, and then I put a chainsaw next to it, and I think that should be an Earp. So they're so fun together, but I feel like that weird collaboration is exactly what makes Earp special. You take elements, underdogs that haven't been together, and you create beautiful music. Do you know what I mean? And music has always been such a huge part of Earp. And Wynonna having her own strong theme has been critical, you know? I really wanted it to feel sweeping too. Like Marvel doesn't own that space. Sure, we're tiny and we're worth 12 Canadian dollars, but like I wanted you to feel all the things, a superhero adventure. And again, even though it's technically kind of a modern Western, I wanted to stay away necessarily from like country elements, you know? I wanted it to be a little more orchestral. I really want you to feel like you were on a journey. And the soundscape is so beautiful with the film. So thank you so much for asking about them. They're geniuses. And I don't want to speak for them, but I think they really feel so much freedom on the show that they love coming back to Earth because everything they try, we're like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I loved it when you put the violin in the blender. Let's use that. So yeah, they had a good time. Yeah. Thank you.
So can fans expect a lot of Easter eggs in the special as well, or nods to previous seasons?
Tons, chock a block. Yeah, so many inside jokes, so many like prop jokes, so many cameos, like I said, callbacks for sure. Yes, tons and tons and tons. Your loyalty will be rewarded. Trust me. Yeah.
There's also so much trust between you and your ensemble. How's that grown over time? How did that influence the way that you wrote for these characters in the special?
Oh, that's such a good question. It's really been unusual. It is lightning in a bottle. I think the show was so weird at the beginning. Like, it's so hard to pitch in one line. And we were kind of in the middle of the woods of Alberta, like running around. It felt like we were doing a skit. I was like, is there film in this camera? Like, what is happening? So we really had to create it together. You know what I mean? There was so much trust. We really have a no asshole policy on set. Like, we have to, babe. Like, I'm just done. Right? I'm too tired, right? It's hard enough. So I just feel like because we foster that, like even if I have a choice of casting, I will say to the casting agent, if they're both equal, I'll be like, give me the person who's going to be happy to be there, have a great time, and commit to the material. Like, sure, you might be fighting a tentacle, but I need you to believe it, baby. Do you know what I mean? I also think there's something like subconscious on the show where the cast really is this lovely and we all do like each other so much that it comes through on the show. I think that warmth and that feeling of found family kind of translates, and you can't really buy that chemistry, but they have given me the benefit of their trust. But also, I've never had a show where a cast elevates the material so much. Like, they're so strong that I know that they're going to make something of the scene that I couldn't even dream about in my wildest dreams. That's how strong they are as performers. So the trust definitely goes both ways. Yeah.
Well, I really want to know about the no asshole policy more. But
Okay, good. Yeah, exactly. Do you want me to list all the assholes I've worked with? Here they are. Ready? Buckle up. There goes my career, guys. You got it. Yeah, exactly. Publish this. Yeah.
I feel like for the new fans, I should ask if there's any like essential episode from Wynonna Earp history that they should
I mean, I want to say yes, you should watch all of it obsessively all the time and press play and then go away and leave it on. But no, I would say no. I think you do not need to have a working knowledge of the series to enjoy the special. I would say if you're going to watch one, watch the very last episode, the season finale of 4, just so you know where we left these characters. Do you know what I mean? But hey, man, if I inspire some people to go back and watch the series and then we do more series and more specials, that's fine. Yeah.
This may be a little bit of the business, so you choose not to answer. It's okay.
That's fine.
Has there been any reason why we don't have any exact date for the release yet?
I would say yes, there is a reason, and I would say that I'm just going to get in so much shit. I think that date has been promised to someone else to release. Does that make sense? But it's going to be in the fall, in the fall, in the fall. Who said that? You never heard it from me.
And just, I'm sorry, just to
Yeah.
piggyback off of that. And then how do you plan to want the fans to continue to support up into that unknown?
That is such a good question. I would say Just keep engaging with socials on Tubi. Make sure you watch it. Watch it as much as you can. Like honestly, get your friends and family to watch it. Engage with the network. That's huge. They're loving this fandom. So I think just like letting them know you want more, encouraging other people to watch. It's not rocket science. Keep showing up for us, but they never let us down. So I have no doubt that they will. Yeah, thank you. Oh, good. Oh, no, please.
I guess yeah, we can keep going.
No, it's fine, but don't feel you have to if you're like, I just want to lie down. No. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, it's okay. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's all good.
Are these voices, these character voices, was it difficult to pick them back up?
Yeah.
Or had they always just kind of been there, these ones for years in the back of your mind?
I mean, I'm going to be honest. It's like if you train for a sport, when you're in it, you have that muscle memory. But when you stop, you're like, oh, is Doc Holliday a robot? Like, beep, bop, boop. Like, no, it was harder than I thought. Do you know what I mean? It's all in there, but it's like anything. You have to kind of remember what everyone sounds like and the rhythm of the show. But I said it at the panel, and I think this is really true. I think that fear is really healthy. I don't trust a writer who's like, it's going to be so easy. You should care enough that you're a little bit terrified, that you want it to be so good that you are scared, and I think fear can be your friend in that case. So, and how joyful when you kind of crack it. Do you know what I mean? So again, it was a privilege, but now they're stuck in my head, and I got more. So we got to keep going. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
How different is that writing experience when you're writing for television, knowing that it's open ended, where you have this many questions in
Yeah, it was intimidating. I'm going to be honest. We needed a standalone story, right? So you have less kind of like runway for things like emotional moments and kind of side quests and stuff like that. At the same time, we had the benefit of knowing what made the show important, and it wasn't always the big set pieces, which we are going to deliver for you. It's those small emotional moments and the characters together loving one another, the comedy and the romance and the sisters. So I feel like we knew enough what was important, but we did have to have a self-contained story, which was tricky. And I'll talk about it after the movie, but as always, it's all the stuff that you leave behind, right? You have wild dreams, and then you've got to make it producible in 3 weeks, but it's always a happy accident. What you end up with seems to be the way it should be. So, yeah.